What is up, you guys? My name is Curtis from Sports Gamers Online, and today I would love to talk about some of the leaks that are already coming out about EAFC 25. Hopefully we hear official news on this game later this month, but for now, there's loads of leaks, especially for pro clubs. There's a lot of big things coming out about pro clubs. Some things I'm excited for, some things I'm a little bit skeptical about, but we're going to jump into it. Let's jump into it real quick. So, the tweet and the account that we're going to be focusing on for today is FGZ. Now, FGZ used to be called Foot Zone. We used to report on them a lot, but then I kind of felt like some of the things that they were talking about and some of the things that they were kind of getting out there and reporting on wasn't really super reliable, and some of the things they got wrong and some things they ended up getting right, but more or less they were kind of wishful thinking. But I want to look at this first tweet by them, and they say, "You can come back to our Twitter when everything we've posted comes true. The official reveal in August for EAFC 25. Everything we posted for pro clubs and foot is 100% true and will come to the game at launch." And I feel like that is a big statement from them, because I feel like they kind of do know they missed a few here and there. They haven't been 100% reliable, and they've also got a few things right, but I feel like they had to kind of throw that one out there because they're claiming a lot here. They're claiming a lot in terms of pro clubs and for Ultimate Team. So let's talk about what could possibly be in EAFC 25. Like I said, take this with a little bit of a grain of salt, but the possibility of these being true could be heightened because of this tweet. I'm going to say because of this tweet. I even bookmarked it because if they are wrong, I'm coming back to this tweet and I'm going to get in these. I'm going to get in here. All right. I'm going to get in here and I'm going to say something to them. But for right now, we're going to look at this bulletin here of this tweet here on X, and we're going to go through it and see what I think is going to probably be true and if I'm excited or not excited about that. So anyway, let's jump into it. Pro clubs. New features in Pro Clubs EAFC 25. The first thing they talk about immediately is the new game mode called One to Watch. Don't know loads about this. They don't know loads about this. I've looked around, I've talked to some people. There's not really much that we know about this mode at all. We don't know if it's gonna feature kind of a story a little bit. We don't know if it's a gameplay feature. We don't know exactly what it is. But I'm gonna say this. I'm very positive about this because 6 years ago, Pro Clubs was neglected. I mean, for the longest time, for the last couple of FIFAs, Pro Clubs have been neglected. And then I think like FIFA 22, FIFA 23, EAFC 24, we've seen pro clubs start to get some game-changing features, some features that were really good. You got crossplay, you can create like a club, a club stadium, create, kits. There was all type of things that were implemented into pro clubs, and to be honest, and they even changed like the division structure, the playoff structure. There's so many things they changed, and some things are good, some things are bad, but ultimately I like the fact that they are actually showing this mode love, because back in the day they never were really doing that. This mode was neglected for so long. But One to Watch, it seems like it could be a major feature, which is great and exciting, so I can't wait to see what it necessarily is, and we'll talk about it if it gets announced 100%. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is revamped new UI. Of course, this is kind of something they do every year. They kind of change the user interface, they revamp the colors, everything. It's just going to be a fresh coat of paint. I feel like that's just something that they do every year. EA Sports does that all the time. New level up and progression system. This is something they change every so often with the leveling and the progression. I believe they changed it a little bit 2 years ago, and I believe, from what I can remember, they did change it a little bit this year. But this, I can see them kind of changing it up a little bit. I wouldn't really know exactly how it's going to go. We're going to have to wait for an official deep dive into pro clubs to see how they have changed the progression system. But I got to 100 pretty quick. I got to 100 within like 3 months, and I'm somebody that plays pro clubs religiously, so it was just really quick for me. Clubs feel like manager mode and more managerial and realistic. I don't know, and with the next one too, managerial career mode elements added, I don't know what this necessarily means. There's just this bulletin doesn't really, or this, I keep saying bulletin, it's the bulletin points, but this tweet doesn't really go into depth. It just kind of marks off, give you a few bits of notes here of what's to come. And clubs feel like manager mode. I feel like is there going to be more objective based things for your club, which they've leaned in towards for EAFC in terms of like the playoff system, in terms of, you know, just the playoff system. Managerial career mode elements added. So they're probably going to be adding more things from manager career mode into pro clubs. I want to see what things that they do add. That could be actually kind of good. You know, recently a couple of years ago, they added in like tactics finally, like you could change the tactics of your pro clubs. That was a while back. Hopefully they do add in some manager mode, career mode elements, and I want to know which stuff they do add, because that can be very interesting. I can actually see them doing that. And I don't know, this one right here, I want to know a little bit more of how is it more managerial and realistic based. I want to know what that means. So hopefully that's true. So no more level 100 for pros. So maybe you can go beyond that. Maybe you know there's more beyond the level 100. You know, once you hit about 88, 89, is there more levels you can go up? I want to see how they kind of work with that. Can progress through doing objective based stuff for the club, more waves. So you know, you can do the practice arena and the practice drills in pro clubs. I want to see how that continues, but apparently there's going to be different objectives to help your club. So I'm really, maybe there's new things coming to manager career mode that we don't know yet that fits in with this. That's what I'm starting to think. Maybe there's things we don't know yet. That's why I'm just like, we just don't know what all that entails. So obviously pro clubs, if all this is true, this is going to be more about your club and not just your pro, which I can kind of get behind that, and that's kind of exciting. Separate modes, no Volta / club's own mode. So I think what they're saying here is Volta, over the last couple of years, over the last couple of iterations of FIFA and EAFC, Volta and pro clubs have slowly became this. And that was worrying me for the longest time, because Volta has, you know, the Volt coins or whatever, and I just didn't want that to seep into pro clubs. But what's been happening is like some of the wacky stuff, like the mask and the hairstyles and stuff like that, those have made their way into pro clubs, and I feel like it's a cool way to kind of deck out your character. I remember way back when, you know, characters in pro clubs didn't really look different from each other, but now everybody can kind of, you know, customize the character in any weird ways and have weird bands and do-rags and masks. So Volta brought that, but I'm glad they're kind of separating these modes again, because Volta's completely different from pro clubs, and I don't care that I'm playing pro clubs and I earned Volta coins by playing pro clubs. Like, that's just ridiculous. It's weird. And bottom line here is Volta, the only reason why I felt like Volta was even being attached to pro clubs is because Volta, nobody plays it. Nobody cares about Volta. Nobody does. Everybody's worried. The big mode here is pro clubs. And I felt like they attached Volta to pro clubs just to give Volta some type of relevancy, because they weren't even updating pro clubs from year to year since its debut that much. So that's why I felt like they were doing that. But I'm glad they separated the mode again. Hopefully the mode, I don't know, get in the comments. Do you guys like Volta? Like, do you guys like it? I don't know. I would actually do away with the mode, use the resources for other things. Maybe revamp career mode, revamp player career mode. But yeah, I wasn't down for Volta like that. Restricted builds for characters. I'm guessing maybe if you make a tall character, you can't make a speed demon or something. I don't really know exactly what he's going on here. Maybe, of course, with builds in pro clubs, yearly there's always just this OP build. Recently it's been the Erling Haaland build. You make a 6 foot or a character over 6 foot, and he's fast and he has a strong power shot. And hopefully these builds, this just makes more build variety, because I want to see different builds, man. I don't want to keep seeing either the Erling Haaland build or your guy is 5'2" and he's pacey. They got to do something about pace in pro clubs. They got to do something about pace in pro clubs. It is still just, if you are pacey in pro clubs, you are just devastating. You are just devastating, and it's just so easy to be a pace merchant in pro clubs and just dominate the pitch because you have pace. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Play styles revamped. No more abusing certain play styles, and they're more balanced. I have no problem with play styles. That might come a bit of a shock to you guys. I have no problem with play styles. I want to see maybe another tier of play styles. Maybe there's like I don't think they kind of have it, but another tier, maybe like bronze, silver, playstyle plus. They do kind of have it, but I want to see more emphasis on it. The play styles that probably get abused is of course the finesse shot play style. They did knock it back a little bit because it was strong. I mean, people were hitting top bins from everywhere on the pitch, and it still happens. Probably the rapid one, and I know for sure with me, the through ball, over the head through ball play style. I mean, it's still pretty powerful. But yeah, revamp the play styles. I have no problem them keeping play styles, maybe adding in new play styles, and yeah, revamp them. I think that's something that we definitely would see, and that's a positive change. Overall, I think if all these things are true and they're coming to pro clubs, especially if this right here, one to watch, is something kind of crazy, like maybe like a story career kind of thing that goes along with pro clubs. Maybe it kind of, I don't know, maybe something that just has more of a bigger emphasis on your club and not just your player. But it says one to watch, so it could be just something about your pro club player. I think pro clubs could really have a good year this year, and I can't wait to see the deep dive from EAFC 25. I can't wait to see some of the new things that are coming out to this game, because pro clubs is my favorite mode, right next to player career, because I love player career. Manager career needs some work here and there, but I love player career. Hope they change, especially the objectives in that. But yeah, FGZ, like I said, they could be wrong about this stuff, but we will know probably later this month, going into August, exactly what's going on with pro clubs. My name is Curtis with Sports Gamers Online. You can follow me on X at Cali from the Dojo, and I will check you guys later. And also get in the comments, let me know what you are excited about with this list here. What are you guys really eager to see, and if pro clubs is your favorite mode, and would you keep Volta? Yeah, let me know in the comments, and I'll check you guys later. All right, peace. If you guys like the content we do here on Sports Gamers Online, then hit that like button and subscribe to SGO right now. And if you want the most out of your SGO experience, then join SGO Insider.